So, Acho, Mr. Simple, is Thursday a must-win for the Seahawks?
Marcellus, I loved picking this topic because nothing gets under your skin more than a must-win.
I hate it, boy. Well, I was on the phone with John Heller, our producer, and he said must-win. I hung it up. Then I picked it back up because I do my job. I hate that term.
Nothing gets under your skin
it's corny. It's
more
corny.
than a must-win. But, in fact, it is a must-win for the Seattle Seahawks. I love understanding the context of games being must-wins, Sel, because sometimes you got to win them.
Oh, explain.
You have to. I will. I'm looking at the Seattle Seahawks. I was one of their biggest fans on television. You know this. For weeks, I fought Marcellus. I bobbed, I weaved, I threw my right jabs, I threw my left hooks. For weeks, I fought Marcellus. I said the Seahawks are the team to beat. 5-0. Russell Wilson cooking. Hadn't messed up one meal. 5-star meal. Chef's kiss. But then I saw the Seahawks start to take L's. Not one.
Not one.
Not two.
Not two.
But L's in abundance.
Yeah.
An abundance, Marcellus, of L's. And then I had to look back, Marcellus. I had to evaluate myself. I said, Acho, have you been lying to yourself? Let me see what the Seahawks have done. They beat the Falcons. Well, Falcons aren't a good team. They beat the Patriots in Cam Newton's second start for that team. Well, Patriots aren't a good team. They beat the Cowboys. Cowboys, at the time, they beat the Cowboys. Cowboys aren't a good team. They beat the Dolphins before the Dolphins were starting Tua, before the Dolphins' 5-game winning streak. The Dolphins weren't a good team. They barely beat the Vikings before the Vikings have now won, what, 3 of their last however many. The Vikings weren't a good team because Kirk Cousins was terrible at the time. So then I look, Cardinals, they're going to make the playoffs. Oh, they lost to the Cardinals. Oh, Bills are going to make the play. Oh, my God, they lost to the Bills. Rams are going to make the play. Oh, my God, they lost to the Rams. Sal, I looked at myself in the mirror as a man, and I said, you know what, Acho? You have been lying to yourself.
You're not a man?
The Seahawks.
What you been lying about?
The Seahawks are not who you thought they were. They have not beat a playoff team, the only playoff team by schedule now that they've beat the Miami Dolphins, and they've lost to 3 playoff teams, the Cardinals, the Bills, and the Rams. If they don't win this game, Sal, the jury's done. It's out. They're decided. The Seahawks would now be 0-4 versus playoff teams, and depending on how you look at it, have one win. They'd be 1-5 versus playoff teams.
That was a very complex take. You know why? Because it was a bunch of lies. I told you, my grandma said the truth is simple and lies are complex. That was a very complex take because you never landed on what must-win means. Necessity. You never landed on what must-win actually dictates. That if you don't, there are dire consequences. They're not dire consequences if they don't win this game. Be real about it. No matter which scoreboard you look at, the literal scoreboard, which is the points, win-loss column, or the psychological scoreboard of, oh, momentum is away from us, or whatever you want to say, they're still in it. Look, mathematically, they're 2 up in the loss column from 2 teams that are outside the playoffs right now. Those teams are the Bears and the Vikings, and then the Lions we could throw in there. But Bears, Lions, are you really threatened by the Bears and Lions in their surge in the latter part of the season? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But mathematically, who cares? We're 2 up in losses on them. And the Vikings, we own the tiebreaker, even if they want to creep up into this conversation. But they're still on the outside looking in. Right now, Seattle Seahawks are in the playoffs. Right now, the Seahawks are in first place. A 3-way tie. I'm just giving you facts because you don't have peace with process. And we get into this all the time. I have peace with process. Bro. Okay, I know you just moved to L.A., so I don't know if your security detail is up to par yet. And I'm talking about the one at your home. But let me tell you about peace when you're from L.A., when you know L.A., and you've been in your home for several years. My peace comes from the fact that oh, I have an alarm. First, I have a gate. You must get through the gate. And then there's a moat. No water, but no dragons either, but it's still a moat. No, seriously. Then you have the peace of mind. My alarms on. So my wife sounds like you. Did you hear that? I was like, I don't care what you heard. The alarm would sound. I trust in the system. Then after that, if I hear something and I don't care what my wife is talking about, guess what I could do? Check on my cameras. I can look and see. You are a person that as soon as you hear something, oh my God, go run outside in your pajamas after you just go off on some tangent that is not what we're talking about here.
Sal.
We're talking about must win. Mathematically, it's not true. Psychologically, it's not true. I don't know what you're seeing on the cameras, brother, but sit back down and watch TV.
Sal, the only meaning of true security is really dependent upon the neighborhood that you're in. You can have you grew up in Compton. Don't start fronting now for the camera. Don't start fronting now for the cam.
It was kind of peaceful for me in Compton. It's been an issue or two in Studio City, too. I'm just letting you know, all these protesters.
It is dependent.
But I feel you.
It's dependent upon your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Seahawks neighborhood. Let's talk about their neighbors. The Los Angeles Rams. Ooh, that neighbor is scary.
They gangster.
That neighbor came in and beat them Seahawks. We just saw it this past Sunday.
They don't do well.
Who else are their neighbors?
Okay.
The Arizona Cardinals. Ooh, that neighbor's scary too. And that neighbor lived right around the corner, right down the street. It's all about their neighbors. Before I go micro, I'm going to stay macro.
Say big.
In football, big dog, you know this. You are either getting better or you are getting worse.
Yep. Never stay back.
Patriots.
Yep.
They're getting better.
Okay.
Ravens, they're getting worse. Dolphins, they're getting better. Seahawks, it's unequivocally clear that right now they are getting worse. Okay. Now, if they can go out and beat the Rams, I would say, you know what? It looks like they might be getting back right. But, sir, they've lost 3 out of their last 4. Only team they beat is a beyond maligned 49ers team. So if in football it is true that you are either getting better or you are getting worse, the Seahawks are clearly not getting better, losing 3 out of their last 4 games. So they are getting worse. So, no, they are not mathematically defeated.
Oh,
no,
so
they're not mathematically eliminated.
Not a must-win.
But you said there's several games. Scoreboard, game within the mind. The game within the mind of getting better or getting worse. Right now, the Seahawks are getting worse.
Where?
This man just said where.
Where?
Russell Wilson.
Be specific. Okay.
Russell Wilson.
See, once again.
The defense.
Oh, no. I knew you. Thank you. Boy, I'm a trap setter. That's why I don't get up. I'll be like, Bob, we got a gate, we got security, we got cameras, we got alarms. I ain't got to get up. I know where you're going to go, and I'm going to see you. And when you come in here, you're going to have to see me. And trust me, I'm coming with the homies. Here's the thing about it.
Not by yourself.
Oh, hell no. I'm scared. I ain't fighting nobody. Come, you can have it. Here's the thing. Got insurance, too. Here's the thing. When you look at the Seahawks, they are actually getting better on defense. Crazy enough. How many points did they give up last week? Yeah, I know it was a loss. 23.
You talking about the 44 they gave up the week before?
I said last week, and you're not listening.
37.
Oh, I thought we were talking momentum, but now you want to start to change the momentum. They gave up 23. Whoa, is that a season low for them? Tied for their season low. So if you're looking at it in the defensive room with Ken Norton in there, you're like Kenneth Norton Jr., you're like, damn, dog, we are all right. We're going to trend in the right direction if we're going with the momentum. You're talking about wins and losses, and I'm talking about wins and losses in the win-loss column. They're in the driver position. They're in pole position. But let's talk about this neighborhood. The Seahawks don't have to stay home. They have the easiest remaining schedule. There are 32 teams. Who has the easiest path in front of them? The Seattle Seahawks. Tell me, are you scared of these names? Eagles, Giants.
Hell no.
Not at all. We're going the wrong way. Jets, Washington football team.
Scared.
That WFT looks weird. And then you got the 49ers. You already beat them.
Don't skip over them Rams.
I skipped over them because they're scary. The point is we're going to avoid that house, but we're going to still trick-or-treat everywhere else. But that's the thing. You're 2 up on everyone else with that easy road in front of you. How can it be dire?
Because one, you're already clinging for dear life. Seahawks are currently the 7th seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but
you're clinging. Oh, my God.
2 up.
Help.
Not 7th seed in a tie, not 7th seed up 1. 7th seed up 2. Come on, Wild.
Okay, but are we bragging about a 7th seed? Now let's go micro, because you went there. Let's go micro, because we're here. The Seahawks not only must win, but their fearless leader, Russell Wilson. The only 2 goals for the Seahawks all season, get to the Super Bowl and get Russ an MVP. But Marcellus, the lowest seed, and I got a full screen for you because I'd rather show you than tell you. The lowest seed to ever win an MVP, quarterback. You got to go to Peyton Manning, 08. He was a 5 seed. The late Steve McNair, he was a 5 seed, 03. You don't win an MVP, sir, if you are not a top-flight, top seed.
And?
Matt Ryan, he had 5 losses, but he won MVP because he was a 2 seed 2016.
Yep.
Think about Mahomes. He was a 1-2 seed. Think about Brady, 17. Where was he? If they lose and they end up with these 4 or these 5 soon-to-be losses, and Russell Wilson ends up as a 7 seed, sir, not only have they lost out on their team goals, because the goal is not to make the playoffs if you're a Seahawk. Russell Wilson's made the playoff every year except 1 year. So bump all these low-bar goals that Marcellus Wiley likes to set.
Wow.
You lose your big-time goals, and Russell would lose his individual.
How are you going to lose your big-time goals when you're in a 3-way tie for first? You all have the same amount of wins. Think about it. The team you're facing tonight, everyone's saying this is a must-win for you.